Since 99, I've been doping this, focusing, unfocusing. Sure as the sun floats, sure as the sun smoking. I was the gun toting, it's my cuz told me. Don't get demoted, keep it close to your digits. You know you get it, you let yourself get too close to them chickens. I said I disagree, then I let Superhead lick on me.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're looking at a designer fragrance. Probably going to be doing a lot more of these in 2015. And the fragrance we're looking at today is from the house of Fendi. And the fragrance is called Fendi pour Homme. Now, this is a house that I love on the designer side. I have a couple of knit ski caps and scarves from them. Not a lot of experience on the fragrance side. This was a total blind buy for me, and we'll see if it was a good one or not in this review. But folks, before we talk about Fendi, let's talk about the house that is Fendi. Now, this is a classic Italian fashion house started by a woman named Adele Casagrande in 1918. She married a man named Edoardo Fendi, and in 1925, the House of Fendi was founded. Curiously enough, it began as a boutique in Rome that only specialized in leather and fur. But they did very well with the leather and fur, and in the 30s and 40s, they wound up opening many different boutiques around Italy. Eventually, the daughters of the designers got involved. They started to come up with ideas, and they were in Paris for a fashion-related trip, and they met a designer there who they just were really taken with. The designer was Karl Lagerfeld, and they brought him on to be creative director. He began working with Fendi in 1965, and he produced the house's first ready-to-wear fur collection in 1965. Lagerfeld also designed the house's signature double F pattern, which you see on the bottle and is still in use today. Fendi is probably best known for that double F in their baguette style bags, but they produced their first ready-to-wear line in 1977, and in the 80s and 90s they expanded to menswear, denim, gifts, eyeglasses, and fragrances. Now, their first female fragrance was called Fendi for Women, and it was released in 1985, and their first men's fragrance, called Homme, was released in 1988. Fendi, as of today, is owned by the LVMH Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy Group and produces their fragrances in conjunction with them. They have 27 fragrances in their lineup, and their newest is this Fendi line. They did a women's Fendi fragrance in 2010 and released the men's one in 2012. This fragrance was composed by 3 different perfumers, the very famous Francois Dimache, Delphine Lebeau-Proillac, and Benoit Lapouza. The notes on this fragrance are citrus, soft woody tones, basil, cardamom, red pepper, and leather. It is available in department stores, but you don't really have to pay those department store prices. Deals can be had on this. I got the 100 ml bottle you see in front of me from Amazon for $43. So really good deals out there on this, which is why I decided to jump on it. And there are already 2 flankers out of this, an aqua version and an assoluto or absolute version. Now, let's take a look at the presentation. Box is very simple. Fendi pour Homme with the Fendi name right there, eau de toilette. You're going to have your badge code stamped in, your barcode, your ingredients on the back, and nothing on the rest, that double F pattern on the top. And your bottle, a little bit tacky. It's got the Fendi double F, but it's like a plastic plate on top, a Fendi here, and a sticker on the bottom. No cap, but a nice atomizer, and you have the Fendi name there printed on there. So I don't love the presentation on this, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, because this is a rather phenomenal fragrance. It's a bit gourmandish, it's a bit leatherish, and there's a nice spicy factor to it. I would call this almost niche in its quality. So what this fragrance opens up with is a very soft citrus note and a little bit of woods and spice. Like, I almost get a sandalwood vibe in the opening, a cinnamony sandalman vibe, and then as it begins to dry down, some spices come out. Red pepper, basil, and cardamom start to come into play, and you almost get like a holiday cookie vibe, sort of like fresh Nilla wafers baking in the oven. There is some absolutely some vanilla in this fragrance, and as it begins to dry down, what I get is some earthy notes and some very upscale leather, like leather in a leather chair in a gentleman's club. So think leather, pepper, cardamom, woods, and vanilla, and you have Fendi. I think it has a real space in the men's designer lineup because there's not much out there that smells like this. Definitely one of the better designer fragrances that I've smelled over the past two or 3 years. It's very masculine, not a scent I could see too many women wearing, and performance is excellent on this. Projection and longevity are both much better than average. I would love to see what the absolute version of this is like. I wouldn't say this could be a 4-season signature scent because it's got too much going on. I think to be a real good spring or summer fragrance. I think it's going to do a lot better in the fall and winter, but it is a great all-around fragrance. Signature scent worthy in the colder months. Great for dates, casual, or work. This fragrance will work for you. I really can't tell you another fragrance that smells like this one. It reminds me a little bit of Red Oud by Montal, but without the oud. You know how Red Oud sort of has that gourmandish cookie oud going on? Well, this sort of has that without the oud. It reminds me a little bit of Eau de Bao and Spice Bomb, and then it's sort of a sweet fragrance, very good for the holidays. The absolute version does have oud, so I'm really anxious to check that one out. If I was trying to get you to buy this fragrance, I would say that for $45, you could get 100 ml of one of the best designer releases of the last few years. It is of Fendi quality, and there's nothing out there quite like it. On the flip side, this might not be everyone's cup of tea and might not be a people pleaser for everyone. It's quite assertive in its spiciness, and I think there are better designer scents out there like this if your goal is indeed to please the masses. For me, I think this is a very good fragrance. I think the bottle is a wee bit tacky with the 2 F's on plastic. I don't like there's no cap, but other than that, this is a great fragrance, and I have to give this one a 9 out of 10. At this price point, you really need to check Fendi out. So I hope you have enjoyed this review. I will see you all again next week for more videos. Let me know if you're liking the designer fragrance reviews. I am Maximilian.
Probably about the Eli porta potty, somebody booth. Never selling my soul, I'm selling my skills. I'm on Rap's radar now. Elliot Wilson.